The rain hammered the rusted awning of the gas station like fists on a coffin lid, and Alex Harper pressed himself deeper into the shadows, heart slamming against his ribs as headlights swept the lot. He could hear their laughter, cruel, echoing off the pumps. Those three seniors from Lincoln High who'd cornered him after practice, spitting slurs about his fairy ass and the rainbow pin on his backpack. But when the massive 18-wheeler growled to a stop and its door creaked open, the driver stepping out with a face like weathered oak, he froze. The man locked eyes on the faded name tag sewn into Alex's jacket, Harper, and whispered, "Jesus, kid. You're his boy, aren't you?" Alex's breath caught, a chill slicing through the humid night air thicker than the fear gripping his gut. The Bullies truck idled across the lot, engines rumbling like a threat, but this stranger, broad-shouldered, mid-40s, with grease-stained jeans and a flannel shirt rolled to his elbows, didn't flinch. He glanced at the idling pickup, then back at Alex, his voice low and gravelly, carrying the weight of ghosts Alex didn't even know he had. "Get in the cab now? They won't follow a rig like this." Alex hesitated, every instinct screaming trap, but the man's eyes held no malice. Only a haunted recognition that tugged at something buried deep, a family name that suddenly felt like a curse and a key all at once. Inside the truck's cab, the world blurred into streaks of highway under sodium lights as Jack Harlan punched the gas, the diesel roar drowning out the storm. Alex clutched his backpack like a shield, stealing glances at the man who'd just yanked him from hell's doorstep. Jack's hands gripped the wheel with knuckles white as bone, his jaw set like he was chewing on regrets older than the rig's odometer. "You look just like him," Jack muttered finally, eyes fixed on the endless blacktop of I-70 slicing through Kansas cornfields. "Your dad. Same green eyes, same stubborn tilt to the chin. Last I saw Tommy Harper, he was 17, sneaking smokes behind the grain elevator in Eldridge." Alex's stomach twisted. His father had been a ghost even before the cancer took him 2 years back, distant, bitter, always nursing a bottle and a grudge against the world. "You knew him?" Alex whispered, the words tasting like ash. Jack nodded, slow, like it cost him. "Knew him better than I should have. We were close. Back when being close like that got you run out of town with a bloody nose and a one-way bus ticket." The miles unspooled like thread from a fraying seam, and Jack's story trickled out in fits, pieced together around the hum of tires and the occasional crackle of CB radio static. They'd grown up in Eldridge, a speck of a town in central Kansas where the biggest scandal was the annual fair's rigged pie contest. But for two boys stealing kisses in haylofts, it was a minefield. Tommy Harper, golden boy quarterback, and Jack Harlan, the mechanic's kid with oil under his nails. Their summer fling burned hot and secret until the whispers turned to shouts, and Tommy's old man caught them one night by the creek. "He chose his family over me," Jack said, voice rough as sandpaper. "Beat the tar out of me, told me I'd burn in hell." Tommy didn't fight it, just watched. Alex's throat tightened. His own memories of Dad were of silence, of lectures on manning up that always circled back to unspoken shame. Was that why Dad had never hugged him, never asked about the bruises from school? "He never said a word about you," Alex admitted, staring at the dashboard glow. "Died thinking I was a disappointment too." Jack's laugh was bitter, echoing in the cab like a gunshot. "Disappointment? Kid, your old man carried that guilt like a rucksack full of bricks. Last I heard, he married your mom right after I left. Small town fix, you know? Had you? Tried to play straight. But I saw the letters he sent once, before I burned him. Apologies, mostly. Begging forgiveness." The truck swerved slightly as Jack rubbed his eyes, and Alex wondered if it was rain on the windshield or something else blurring the view. They pulled into a rest stop near Salina at dawn, the sky bruising purple, and over styrofoam coffee in the cab, Alex spilled his own mess. The closet at school, the coach who looked the other way during locker room taunts, the mom back home who cried when he finally came out last spring but still whispered prayers for healing. "They found the pin today," Alex said, fiddling with the bent metal rainbow in his pocket. "Called me every name in the book. Said they'd make sure I never graduated." Jack's face darkened, a storm cloud rolling in. "Eldridge ain't changed. Still got that same sheriff who looked the other way when they ran me out. But you're not stuck there, Alex. Not if I can help it." By midday, they'd crossed into Missouri, the flatlands giving way to rolling hills dotted with sycamores shedding gold leaves like confetti from a funeral. Jack's rig hauled produce, crates of apples from some orchard co-op, and the cab smelled faintly sweet, a counterpoint to the diesel tang. Alex dozed fitfully, waking to Jack's voice on the radio, trading weather reports with some phantom trucker named Big Mike. "Yeah, copy that. Storm chasing us east. Keep the shiny side up." It felt almost normal, this bubble on wheels, until Jack's phone buzzed on the dash, an old flip model that lit up with a name. Ricky. Jack snatched it, thumb hovering, then flipped it shut with a curse. "X." He grunted when Alex raised an eyebrow. "We split 6 months back. He wanted the white picket fence life. I wanted the road." Alex nodded, but the word X hung there, a bridge to questions he wasn't sure he wanted answers for. What did love look like for men like them, stolen and scarred? Or could it be something steady, like the horizon they chased? They stopped at a diner off I-44 in Joplin, the kind of place with checkered floors and pie under glass domes, where the waitress called everyone Han and poured refills without asking. Alex slid into the booth, shoulders still hunched from habit, but Jack's presence was a buffer, broad and unyielding. Over burgers, Alex picking at his, Jack devouring like fuel, the conversation veered to safer ground. Classic rock on the jukebox, the best truck stops between here and St. Louis. Then the door jingled, and in walked a guy about Alex's age, lanky with tousled blonde hair and a faded band tee, carrying a duffel like he'd been thumbing it too. He scanned the room, eyes landing on their booth, and Jack waved him over without a word. "Ryan, this is Alex. Kid's riding shotgun today." Ryan slid in across from Alex, flashing a grin that crinkled his blue eyes. "Heard the CB chatter. Thought you might need backup from that tailgater back in Kansas." His voice had a soft drawl, Ozark Hills maybe, and when he shook Alex's hand, the touch lingered a beat too long, warm and electric. Ryan was hitching east, chasing a vague dream of art school in Chicago, away from a family that still thought phases were something you outgrew. "Dad's a preacher," he said, stirring sugar into coffee that could strip paint. "Found my sketchbook, guys kissing, you know. Sermon that weekend was on Sodom and salt pillars." Alex's laugh escaped before he could catch it, sharp and real, the first in days. Jack watched them with a half-smile, like a dad spotting sparks he remembered all too well. "Room for one more in the cab?" Jack asked, and Ryan's nod was quick, eager. As they piled back into the rig, the three of them crammed in with duffels at feet. The air shifted, thicker, charged with possibility. Alex caught Ryan's gaze in the side mirror, a question unspoken, and for the first time since the gas station, the knot in his chest loosened just a fraction. The highway unrolled towards St. Louis like a promise half-kept, bridges arching over the Mississippi in the distance, but the peace shattered when Jack's CB crackled to life with a voice Alex knew too well, brash, sneering, one of the bullies from Eldridge. "Harlan, you old queer, that your rig? Hand over the fag kid, or we'll make sure your routes dry up." Static hissed, then laughter, three voices piling on like wolves. Jack's face went stone, hands slamming the mic. How the hell? But Ryan pieced it first, scrolling his phone. "Track the plates? Posted your rig's make online. Said you kidnapped me." Alex's blood ran cold. In the frenzy of escape, he'd left his phone in the locker room, but those bastards had his backpack tag, his name, everything. Jack floored it, the engine bellowing, but the pickup gained, a speck in the mirror growing fangs. They hit the city limits with sirens wailing in their wake, not cops, but the bullies veering reckless, forcing cars off the shoulder. Jack barked directions, weaving through traffic like a bull in a china shop, Ryan clutching the dash while Alex's mind raced. "This is my fault." Dragged them into it. A semi cut them off at the arch's shadow, and for a heart-stopping second, the world tilted, horns blaring, brakes screeching. They burst free onto a side street, Jack killing the engine in an alley behind a warehouse district. Footsteps pounded, the bullies spilling out, bats from their truck bed glinting under street lamps. "Harper, you think running fixes you?" one yelled, voice cracking with fake bravado. Alex's legs buckled, but Ryan grabbed his arm, pulling him toward a fire escape. "Up now!" Jack stood ground, fists balled, a wall of quiet fury. "You touch him, you deal with me." And I ain't the scared kid you chased off 30 years ago. The fight erupted in chaos, fists flying, grunts echoing off brick walls. Jack took a swing to the jaw, but landed a haymaker that dropped the ringleader, a beefy kid named Brett with daddy's money and zero soul. Ryan scrambled up the ladder, hauling Alex after, their hands slick with sweat and rain. From the rooftop, they watched Jack dodge and weave, a man half their age in spirit, until blue lights flashed. Real cops this time, called by a bystander. The bullies scattered like roaches, one tackled mid-sprint. In the aftermath, the ER in St. Louis smelled of antiseptic and stale regret, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. Jack got stitched up, 5 on his brow, ice for the swelling, while Ryan paced the hall, sketching frantic lines on a napkin. The alley, the escape, Alex's profile in shadow. Alex sat numb, replaying the rooftop view, the way Jack had fought not just for him, but like he was reclaiming pieces of his own stolen youth. When the nurse cleared them, they crashed at a cheap motel off Kings Highway, 3 to a room with lumpy beds and a vending machine hum. Ryan bunked with Alex on the double, the space between them humming with unsaid words. "You okay?" Ryan whispered in the dark, his breath warm against Alex's shoulder. Alex turned, faces inches apart, the air thick as the storm outside. "Yeah, thanks to you too." Ryan's hand brushed his. "Accidental?" "No, deliberate," and Alex didn't pull away, the touch a lifeline in the wreckage. Morning brought coffee black as sin and a plan. Keep east, lay low. Jack's contacts, old trucking buddies, routed them through backroads, avoiding interstates where eyes lingered. Over flapjacks at a hole in the wall, Ryan unfolded his napkin sketch, lines capturing the night's frenzy with raw, aching beauty. "For you," he said, sliding it across. Alex traced the curve of his own jaw in pencil strokes, seen, truly seen, for the first time. Jack cleared his throat, hiding a smile behind his mug. "Reminds me of Tommy's drawings. Kid could sketch a storm like he lived it." The mention stung, but softer now, layered with Jack's quiet grief. As they rolled out, Ryan at the window sketching the gateway arch shrinking behind, Alex felt the cab shift, not just weight, but gravity, pulling them towards something fragile and real. But secrets fester like untreated wounds, and Jack's phone buzzed again that afternoon, Ricky flashing insistent. This time, Jack answered, voice dropping low as they idled at a light in Springfield, Illinois. "Yeah, it's me. No, not dead yet." Laughter, strained, then silence thick as fog. Ryan and Alex pretended not to hear, but snippets leaked. "That missed the road. But you. Townhouse is empty. Come home." Jack hung up with a sigh that rattled the dash. "He left a message last week. Said he was wrong." Alex glanced back, Ryan's eyes wide with the same question burning in his chest. "What now?" Jack shrugged, but his grip on the wheel betrayed the war inside. Freedom's call versus the anchor of almost. Roads long. Plenty of exits. They pushed into Indiana by dusk, the flat corn giving way to woodlets ablaze in fall fire. At a pull-off near Terre Haute, Ryan suggested a fire. Nothing big, just a pit scraped in gravel, marshmallows from the cab's stash. Jack demurred at first, fires for fools and families, but relented, stacking twigs with hands that knew knots from rigging loads. As flames crackled, stories spilled. Ryan's clandestine sketches hidden under floorboards, Alex's first crush on the quiet violinist in band who transferred out after rumors flew, Jack's lone prom night dancing with a broom in his garage mirror. Laughter wove through the smoke, tentative, then free, until Ryan's voice cut sharp. "What about your dad, Alex? The letters Jack mentioned, did he ever?" Alex poked the fire, embers scattering like doubts. "Found one after the funeral. Addressed to you, Jack. Unsent. Said he regretted everything. Tell him I'm sorry for being a coward." Jack's face crumpled, just for a second, before he nodded into the dark. "He wasn't all coward, kid. He gave me you. Proof he loved fierce, even if he couldn't say it." The fire died to coals as stars pricked the sky, and Ryan leaned into Alex, shoulder to shoulder, the contact grounding. Jack rose, clapping dust from his jeans. "Get some shut-eye. Chicago tomorrow, Ryan's promised land." In the tent they'd pitched, cab 2 cramped for 3, the air hummed with Ryan's even breaths beside him. Alex lay awake, mind replaying the day's fractures. The fight, the call, the letter's ghost. When Ryan stirred, murmuring in sleep, Alex whispered, "Stay?" Ryan's eyes fluttered open, hand finding his in the dark. Always. Their kiss was tentative, tasting of salt and smoke, a spark jumping the gap between fear and hope. Outside, Jack kept watch by the dying fire, a sentinel smiling into the night. Dawn broke over the Wabash River like a hesitant apology, mist curling off the water as the rig rumbled toward Chicago's sprawl. Ryan dozed against Alex's shoulder, sketchpad open to a new page, their hands intertwined by firelight, captured in hasty lines. Jack hummed an old Springsteen tune, low and off-key, the city skyline rising like jagged teeth on the horizon. But the piece fractured when Alex's borrowed burner phone, Jack's spare, chirped with a text from Mom. "Where are you?" "School called. Police too. Come home, baby. We can fix this. Fix this." As if his queerness was a leaky faucet, not a flood. He typed back, fingers trembling. "Need time. Love you." But doubt gnawed. Eldridge's pull, the house with Dad's empty chair, the neighbors who'd whisper if he stayed gone. Chicago hit like a fever dream. Horns blaring, L trains rattling overhead, the air thick with lake wind and street vendor spice. Jack navigated to a warehouse yard in Pilsen, murals exploding in color on brick walls, queer icons staring down like guardians. "Drop point for the load," he explained, unhitching the trailer while Ryan and Alex wandered to a nearby taqueria. Over tacos al pastor, Ryan's excitement bubbled. "Art Institute tomorrow?" They got that exhibit on queer visionaries, Stein, Toklas, the whole salon. Alex nodded, but his mind snagged on the we in Ryan's words, the easy assumption of tomorrow's. What if they catch up? The Bullies, I mean, Brett's dad owns half the county. Cops might be in his pocket. Ryan's fore paused, eyes serious. "Then we fight smarter." "You're not alone, Alex." "Not anymore." Back at the yard, Jack introduced them to Lena, a wiry diesel tech with a buzz cut and tattoos snaking up her arms, vines twisting into fists. "Heard about your dust up," she said, wiping grease from her hands. "Bunch of small-town punks. My wife's ex was sheriff in a place like that. Beat her black and blue till she ran." Lena and her partner, Maria, ran the shop. Their story tumbled out over shared beers in the back office. Church wedding gone sour when the pastor found out. A cross-state flight. Now a life rebuilt in the city's cracks. "Prejudice don't die easy," Lena said, clinking bottles. "But love? That's the weapon." Maria, soft-spoken with a healer's touch, pulled Alex aside later, pressing a card into his hand. "A support group for queer youth. Wednesdays at a community center. You're Tommy's boy?" Jax told stories. "Proud of you for running toward, not away." That night, they crashed at Lena and Maria's walk-up in Logan Square, brownstone stoop with pride flags fluttering like battle banners. Ryan and Alex shared the couch, bodies fitting like puzzle pieces worn smooth, whispers turning to touches that mapped new territories. Collarbones, the dip of spines, breaths sinking in the quiet. No rush, just discovery, the kind that healed bruises you didn't know you carried. Jack bunked in the spare, phone silent for once. But in the kitchen pre-dawn, Alex found him staring at a faded photo taped to the fridge. Young Jack and Tommy, arms slung casual, grins wide under a harvest moon. "Kept it after all," Alex said softly. Jack nodded, folding it away. "Some fires you can't fully douse." The Art Institute was a revelation. Galleries humming with voices, lights slanting through skylights onto canvases alive with defiance. Ryan's hand and Alex's felt bold here, anonymous in the crowd, as they lingered before a Matisse. Lovers entwined, unapologetic. "Like us," Ryan murmured, and Alex believed it, the city's pulse syncing with his own. But outside, under Millennium Park steel clouds, reality intruded. A voicemail from an Eldridge number, Brett's voice slurred and venomous. "Found your trucker friend, fag. Dad's got pull with the feds now. Turn back, or we'll bury you both." Alex deleted it, but the chill lingered, a shadow on the bean's reflective curve. They pushed north to Evanston that evening, Jack scoring a short-haul gig to Milwaukee for cover. En route, Ryan confessed over gas station subs. "My folks wired money for the bus home. Said it's a phase, That Chicago'll eat me alive. His laugh was hollow, eyes tracing the dashboard. Alex squeezed his knee. Stay? We phase together. Jack, from the wheel, grunted approval. Phases pass. People don't. But in Milwaukee's harbor, unloading crates under sodium glow, doubt crept back. Ricky's texts piling up on Jack's phone. Please lace with I love you that twisted like barbed wire. He's meeting us in Madison tomorrow. Jack admitted over pierogi at a Polish joint. Needs closure. Or a fight. Alex's gut clenched. What if closure meant Jack folding his road-worn map, leaving them adrift? Madison dawned crisp, university spires piercing a sky bruised with autumn. They met Ricky at a lakeside cafe, compact, bespectacled, with a laugh that filled the space like sunlight. Hugs, awkward at first, then real, and over scones, the ex poured out. Therapy, a job at a nonprofit for queer vets, the ache of Jack's absence. I was scared, Ricky said, hand on Jack's. Thought the road would steal you. Jack's reply was quiet thunder. It did, once. Won't again. Watching them, Alex felt a pang. Not jealousy, but envy for that reclaimed chance, the way love could loop back on itself. Ryan, sketching the scene covertly, whispered later, think we'll get that? Old and Schoonsoft. Alex kissed his temple. If we fight for it. But the loop tightened that afternoon when a squad car pulled them over on Highway 151. Lights flashing, officers stepping out with LGBTQ insignia. Harper boy, got a warrant for runaway. Jack's tires crunched gravel as he killed the engine, hands visible, voice steady. He's 18, officer. No runaway. The cop, young, eyes darting, radioed in, but Ryan's quick thinking saved them. Flashing his sketchpad, a forged family emergency note from a fake aunt. Bluster met bluff, and the cop backed off, muttering about jurisdiction. Heartbeats later, they peeled out, laughter bubbling hysterical. Artist's license, Ryan quipped, but Alex saw the fear in Jack's mirror glance, how close the past had clawed back. They holed up in a B&B outside Green Bay, quilted rooms and quilted lives, where owners, two dads with adopted twins, shared stew and stories of foster fights won. Over chest by the fire, Jack opened up about Tommy's last letter, the one Alex had found. Not just apology, but a confession. I loved him, Jack. Always did. Couldn't live it, but it lived in me. Raise our boy right if I can't. Tears tracked Jack's cheeks, unashamed, and Alex hugged him fierce, father to son in all but blood. Ryan watched, hand in Alex's, the board forgotten. That night, tangled in flannel sheets, Alex and Ryan moved slow, emotions cresting like waves, not conquest, but communion, whispers of futures sketched in skin. The Upper Peninsula's spine arched wild under November skies, Michigan's wild north a labyrinth of lakes and logging roads where cell signal died like bad habits. Jack's rig growled north from Green Bay, a favor haul for a buddy's lumber yard in Marquette. Pay dirt, but deter city. Ricky rode along now, shotgun swapped, his city polish chafing against the cab's grit but softening with each mile. Missed this, he admitted, hand on Jack's thigh as birches blurred past. Alex and Ryan bunked in the sleeper, knees bumping, sharing earbuds with a playlist of indie folk, songs of lost boys finding harbors. Detroit next, Ryan asked, tracing I-75's curve on a map app. Alex hummed noncommittal. The road whispered freedom, but home's echo grew louder. Mom's text a siren song of safety laced with sorrow. Marquette hit with lake effect wind whipping Superior's chop into whitecaps. The town huddled like a secret. They unloaded pine bolts under floodlights, backs aching, banter light, Ricky joking about Jack's logistic skills, drawing groans. Dinner was pasties at a dive, flaky crust stuffed with beef and root veg, washed with cherry ale. Over seconds, talk turned to Thanksgiving's past. Jack's solitary truck-stop turkeys. Alex's tense tables where Dad carved silent. Ryan's pew-side sermons on gratitude for normalcy. Normal's overrated, Ricky said, clinking glasses. Queer is the upgrade. Laughter sealed it, a pact against the cold. But dawn brought reckoning. A call from Lena back in Chicago. Eldridge PD had looped in feds, painting Alex as at-risk youth in a possible abduction. Brett's dad, councilman with law firm ties, pulling strings. They got your route from trucking logs, Lena warned. Head for the border if you have to. Canada's got sanctuaries. Jack cursed, pacing the motel lot, Ricky at his side like an anchor. We don't run, Alex said, voice steady for the first time. We go back. Face it. Mom needs to know I'm not broken. Ryan's nod was fierce. Together, the plan coalesced. Loop south through Wisconsin, then east to Ohio, confront the nest, dismantle it plank by plank. The drive south was taut, CB silent save for weather ghosts. Ryan sketched compulsively, the lake's rage, Jack's profile etched with worry, Alex's hand in his, portraits of a makeshift family. Stops blurred. A pie shop in Ironwood where an old logger winked at their intertwined fingers, a rest area near Appleton where they walked trails hand in hand, leaves crunching confessions. Scared? Ryan asked, breath fogging air. Alex leaned into him. Terrified. But you make it survivable. Their kiss by the river was deeper now, seasoned with stakes, tongues tracing promises against the pull of unraveling. Ohio's flatlands reclaimed them by nightfall, Toledo's lights a gritty halo. They bunked at a trucker motel, neon buzzing vacancy like a dare. Over pizza in the room, delivery boy's double take ignored. Jack shared a box from his glove compartment, Tommy's unsent letters, yellowed envelopes tied with twine. Read M, he said, voice gruff. Alex's hands shook unfolding the first. Jack, I see your ghost in every mirror. Alex is 6 today, green eyes like yours. Wish I could tell him truth. Page after page, Dad's hidden heart bled ink. Love for Jack unburied. Shame for the life unlived. Hopes for a son to be free where he couldn't. Tears blurred words, and when Alex looked up, Jack's arms opened. Hug crushing, cathartic, the year's debris swept in sobs. Ricky held Jack. Ryan held Alex, a circle unbroken. Next morning, they crossed into Pennsylvania, the Alleghenies folding hills like rumpled quilts. Jack's phone rang. Unknown number, Mom's voice cracking through. Alex? God, baby, where? Relief flooded, then fear. They're saying you were taken. Brett's father. He's pushing custody, says you're unstable. Alex's grip whitened on the phone. Mom, listen. I'm safe. With friends. And Dad's friend, Jack. He loved Dad. Like I love Ryan. Silence stretched, then a whisper. Come home. Please. I'll fight them. It wasn't full acceptance, but a crack in the wall, lights seeping through. Pittsburgh's steel ghosts loomed, bridges strung like harp wires over rivers. They paused at the point, where 3 waters met. Symbolic, Ryan said, sketching the confluence. But tension simmered. Ricky's unease grew, city boy chafing at the endless blacktop. Jack, this revenge tour. It's noble, but what about us? Argument brewed over sub-sandwiches in the cab, voices rising. Jack's road as identity, Ricky's home as healing. Alex and Ryan mediated from the sleeper, hands clasped, but the rift echoed their own. What if love demanded choices? Night fell in Johnstown, a flood-scarred town fitting their scars, and in the motel, reconciliations played out. Jack and Ricky tangled in quiet fury turning tender, Alex and Ryan mapping bodies with reverence, emotions cresting in waves of I choose you. Eastward, the Appalachians sharpened, West Virginia's hollers whispering cold dark tales. A breakdown near Beckley, alternator quit, stranding them in rain-lashed dusk. Tow came slow, a grizzled vet named Cal who eyed their dynamic with squint, then grinned. Reminds me of Nom Bunks. Love where you find it. Overweighting coffee in his truck, Cal shared his own. Son lost to conversion camp, now estranged. Tell your folks straight. Regrets heavier than hate. Wisdom stuck as they limped to a garage in Princeton, bunking rough in the waiting room. Ryan sketched that night, stranded souls under fluorescent, captured the limbo, and Alex added a line, but we move on. Virginia border brought clarity. Mom's emails now. Therapist says listen. Jack's welcome. Love wins. Progress, fragile. But Brett's shadow loomed. A taunting postcard slipped under the motel door in Roanoke. Found you. Dad says hi. Panic spiked. How? Jack traced it to a trucking forum leak. Anonymous tip from inside. Trust fractured, eyes darting at every rig. They detoured south to Knoxville, Tennessee, holing in a queer-friendly B&B run by a trans couple, Sage and Theo, who fortified them with gumbo and gossip. Local networks for runaways, legal aid hotlines. You're not prey, Sage said, eyes fierce. You're pack. Over cards that night, stories bonded. Theo's transition amid family firestorms. Sage's escape from Bible Belt chains. Alex felt seen, the cab's isolation yielding to community weave. The Smokies wove mist through pines as they pushed to Asheville, artsy haven with buskers strumming queer anthems. Ryan's eyes lit, galleries galore, his duffel spilling sketches for impromptu sales. One flew off, their firelit hands, bought by a gallery owner named Jules who cooed. Raw. Real. Show more. Buzz built, a pop-up exhibit promised, but Alex's heart tugged east, home's gravity unyielding. Jack sensed it, pulling over at a overlook. Drop me and Ricky and Charlotte. You two take the bus to Eldridge. Face the dragon. Protest rose, but logic bit, divide to conquer. Hugs at the station were brutal. Jack's bare crush. Ricky's whispered be brave. Ryan's tears hot on Alex's neck. The Greyhound hummed east, Carolina's blurring to Virginia hills, Ryan's head on Alex's shoulder. Think they'll make it? He murmured. Alex kissed his hair. Like us. But doubt whispered. What if Mom folded under pressure? What if Brett's hate proved thicker than blood? Night fell over the Blue Ridge, stars pricking like accusations, and in the dim hum, Ryan's hand found Alex's, anchor in the unknown. Eldridge materialized like a fever dream at dawn, the bus depot a squat brick relic beside the grain co-op, where Dad's ghost lingered in every silo shadow. Alex's stomach knotted as they stepped off, Ryan's duffel slung over one shoulder, his free hand laced tight in Alex's, defiance and grip. The air smelled of hay and regret, Main Street's facades unchanged, barber shop with its faded no loitering sign, the diner where whispers had felled Jack decades back. Mom's pickup idled curbside, her face pale through the windshield, eyes red-rimmed but arms opening wide as they approached. Baby, she breathed, crushing Alex in a hug that smelled of lavender and worry. Ryan hung back, awkward, until she pulled him in two. Heard about you. Thank you. No slurs, no sermons, just raw, unraveling love. Home was the same clabbered two-story, porch swing creaking under ghosts, but inside hummed different. Casserole in the oven, Dad's chair draped with a quilt, photos rearranged. One of Alex at 10, gap-toothed grin, now joined by a snapshot Mom dug from albums. Young Tommy arm in arm with a blurred Jack. Found it cleaning, she said over coffee, voice unsteady. Your father. He kept secrets, but they were his to carry, not yours. Tears brimmed as she confessed her own. Knowing Tommy's heart strayed mailward, marrying anyway for the town's nod, burying the knowledge with him. I failed you both, but I'm learning. Ryan's presence eased it, his quiet jokes drawing her laugh, a bridge of normalcy. Word spread fast in Eldridge, the prodigal's return, hand in hand with a boy from nowhere. Stares followed at the grocery, whispers at the pump, but Mom's chin lifted, her bless your heart laced with steel when old biddies clucked. School loomed Monday, Lincoln High's hall's a gauntlet, but Alex prepped with Ryan's sketches taped to his locker in imagination, armor of art. Jack called evenings, voice crackling from Charlotte. Ricky's cooking, burnt the rice, but we're good. Facing your demons. Alex's reply, one day at a time. Nights, he and Ryan bunked in the attic guest room, touches turning urgent under quilted dark. Explorations of trust, bodies whispering here, now us. Monday crashed in, hallways echoing with locker slams, eyes boring into Alex like drills. Brett waited by the chem lab, flanked by his cronies, smirk sharp as broken glass. Back for more, princess? Heard your trucker uncle's a pedo now. Spit flew, but Alex stood ground, Ryan at his flank like a sentinel. Walk away, Brett. It's over. Teachers hovered distant, coaches gaze averted, but then Principal Hargrove, gray suit, grayer conscience, stepped in. Harper, office. Now, the room reeked of lemon polish and lies. Hargrove's desk piled with complaints. Anonymous, all Brett's script. Disrupting peace. Suggest transfer. Alex's voice rose. Disrupting? They chased me across states. Assaulted my friend. Hargrove's pen tapped. No proof. Family man like McAllister's boy. Unlikely. Ryan burst in then, Breathless, phone thrust forward. Recordings from the gas station dash cam. Jack's rig had caught the tale, audio clear as a confession. Evidence, he panted. Hargrove blanched, suspending Brett pending review, but the wind felt hollow. Town's undercurrent still poisoned. Lunch brought allies unexpected. Violinist Mia, out since sophomore year, sliding beside them with a tray. Saw the pin. Proud. And quiet Jamal from art class, sketching furtively. I'm by. Kept it zipped till now. Whispers built a web, fragile but spreading. Home that evening. Mom waited with news. Council meeting tomorrow. Brett's dad pushing youth protection ordinance. Code for queer curfew. I'm speaking, she declared, script clutched. Alex's chest swelled. The woman who'd prayed for cures now wielded words like shields. Ryan helped polish it, adding fire. My son deserves safety, not suspicion. Jack drove up at dusk, Ricky beside, bearing pie from a Charlotte bakery, peace offering. Over kitchen table, stories converged. Jack's return to Eldridge planned, facing the creek where it ended with Tommy. Closure, he said, eyes on Mom. For all of us. The meeting packed the VFW hall, folding chairs creaking under farmers and shopkeepers, air thick with coffee and tension. McAllister Sr. rose first, voice booming. Our values under siege. Boys like Harper importing chaos. Murmurs rippled, but Mom stood, knees trembling visible only to Alex. My son is Eldridge, she began, voice gaining steel. Born here, grieved here, loved here. If values mean family, then let's value all. Applause scattered, then swelled as Jack followed. I left 30 years ago, beaten for loving your golden boy. Tommy Harper, your quarterback, chose silence, but his regret echoed. Don't make Alex echo it. Gasps, then quiet. McAllister's face purpled, but the vote swung narrow, ordnance tabled. Aftermath buzzed, locals approaching shy, handshakes tentative. Brett cornered Alex post-meeting in the lot, eyes wild. You ruined us. Fist raised, but Jamal and Mia materialized, phones out. He slunk away hollow. That night, bonfire at the creek, Jack's idea, catharsis in flames. Logs crackled stories. Tommy's laugh, loves lost and found. Ryan's sketches passed hand to hand. Mom toasted marshmallows with Ricky, their laughter a bomb. As embers died, Alex pulled Jack aside. Your family now. For real. Jack's hug crushed, whisper rough. Always were a kid. But twists lurked. Dawn brought a knock. Sheriff, warrant in hand for Jack. Old assault charge, McAllister's revenge dredging files. 30 years cold, but it sticks. Panic surged, but Ricky's nonprofit lawyer flew in by noon, quashing it with statute lapses. Close call, but it cracked something in Jack. Time to settle, maybe. With Ricky, heartache bloomed for Alex, losing the road's guardian, but growth's price. Ryan sensed it, pulling him to the swing. We'll make our road. Together. Winter edged in, Eldridge's first snow dusting fields like forgiveness. School shifted, GSA club formed, Mia leading, Alex co-presiding with Jamal. Ryan enrolled part-time at community college, sketches selling to Chicago Scouts. Mom dated, a widower from the diner, gentle, open. Jack and Ricky bought a fixer-upper in town, turning garage to art space. Ryan's exhibit there, walls alive with their journey, gas station shadows to creek fires. Opening night, crowds swelled. Even McAllister, hat in hand, boys sorry. Therapy, not absolution, but start. Yet conflict crested one sleet-lashed night. Ryan's parents arrived unannounced, preacher dad thunderous, mom tearful. Come home, son. This life's a lie. Argument raged in the living room, scriptures hurled like grenades, Ryan's voice breaking. My truth, not your script. Alex stood buffer, mom pouring tea like truce. Hours bled, but dawn brought concession, acceptance tentative, visits promised. As they drove off, Ryan collapsed into Alex, sobs racking. I chose us. Alex held tight, and won. Spring thawed the town, dogwoods blooming defiant. Graduation loomed, caps ordered, Ryan's Chicago acceptance glowing. But a letter arrived. Tommy's will addendum, hidden, bequest to Jack, land by the creek, for the boy we made. Tears at the reading, then resolve, build there, a queer youth center, walls for stories untold. Groundbreaking that summer, hands in dirt. Alex and Ryan, Jack and Ricky, Mom with her widower, Mia and Jamal. Shovels bit earth, past yielding to future. Yet the deepest twist waited in July heat. Ryan's sketchbook, found page, a portrait of Alex, but caption marry me? Kneeling by the creek, rings simple silver, Ryan's eyes earnest, roads end, but we don't. Alex's yes was a vow, sealed in water's rush. Wedding small, autumn leaves confetti, vows echoing Jack and Tommy's unspoken. I see you. I choose you. Years folded, center thrived, Eldridge's scar tissue to strength. Alex taught art, Ryan published, graphic novel of their flight, bestseller quiet. Jack and Ricky adopted, a girl with green eyes. Mom danced at the wedding's echo, widower's hand steady. Bullies faded, Brett to rehab, others to quiet regrets. Love, once hunted, now rooted deep, branches reaching. But no endings tidy. 5 years on, a call shattered the idol. Brett, clean now, seeking amends at the center's door. Ruined my life, but you saved it, he rasped, eyes clear. Alex hesitated, Ryan's hand steadying, then nodded. Come in. Stories traded over coffee, forgiveness a slow brew, not bomb, but bridge. Town watched, whispers turning to nods, prejudice's slow death. Deeper still, Alex's own doubts resurfaced in quiet nights. Am I enough? Ryan's sketches faltered, Chicago pulling with gallery whispers. Conflict brewed gentle, a weekend apart, Ryan's absence a hollow. Return brought truth. Missed you. Us. Rekindled in the attic. Now theirs, touches reaffirming home. Jack's health dipped, heart murmur from road years, and the center became vigil, potlucks, laughter masking fear. Ricky's strength anchored, but Alex saw the toll, vowing his own. More time, more hands. Recovery slow, but Jack walked the creek again, Tommy's land blooming wildflowers. Mom's wedding that spring, simple, lakeside, bound them tighter, her vows a mirror. Through storms, we stand. Alex officiated, voice thick, Ryan's grin his son. A decade etched, kids at the center, stories echoing theirs, gas stations to freedoms. Alex's novel followed Ryan's, duo signing in Chicago lights. Jack retired the rig, tales now told from porch rockers. Prejudice lingered in fringes, but Eldridge's course shifted, pride flags on Main, council seats queer won. Climax crested in crisis, fire at the center, arson whisper, old hate flaring. Flames licked night, sirens wailed, but community surged, buckets, hoses, hands linked. Saved half, rebuilt double, stronger, with Mia's murals rising phoenix. Arsonist caught, not Brett, but a fringe uncle, facing justice swift. From ashes, renewal, expansion, grants, national nod. Alex and Ryan's first child, adopted boy, wide-eyed, toddled halls, green gaze echoing ghosts made grace. Love's arc bent, never broke, through chases, confessions, choices. In Eldridge's heart, once cold, now beat a rhythm fierce, queer, unyielding, home. Yet the road called soft, anniversaries on highways, rigs borrowed, Ryan sketching horizons. Still running, Alex teased. Ryan's kiss, toured. Generations cycled. Their son, out at 12, center his haven. Jack's tales grandid whispered, Ricky's hugs endless. Mom's grandkids, story spun. Final twist, faded letter from Tommy, postscript found. If Jack reads this, tell him, eternal. Read at Sunset Creekside, circle complete. In twilight's gold, Alex held Ryan, hands lined with years. Knew his last name, he murmured. Ryan's smile, knew your heart. And so, the wheel turned, Bullies to brothers, Hydes to homes, Love's last name, Harper, Harlan, Hull. Recall, after the wedding's bloom, the first fracture came subtle, in the hush of newlywed nights. Ryan's Chicago offers multiplied, gallery solo shows, whispers of relocation, while Alex rooted deeper in Eldridge, the center's pulse his own. Arguments simmered over breakfasts. It's our story they're buying, Ryan urged, eyes alight. Ours, together. Alex's counter. Here, where it started. Where we heal. Tension coiled, touches cooling from fire to flicker. Enter Elena, Ryan's agent, sharp-suited, city-sleek, arriving for a quick consult that stretched weeks. Her laugh filled the kitchen, anecdotes of coasts and crowds, and Alex watched Ryan lean in, old dreams resurfacing. Jealousy gnawed, unspoken. Am I anchor or chain? One night, post-dinner wine, Elena's hand lingered on Ryan's arm. Innocent? Alex stormed to the creek, stones skipping fury. Ryan followed, voice breaking. She's pushy, but you're my gravity. Reconciliation raw, bodies clashing in need and fear, emerging scarred but soldered. Jack's murmur worsened then. Cardiologist in Pittsburgh mandating rest. Road's toll exacted. Ricky's vigil was fierce, but resentment brewed. You chased miles. Now chase health. Jack's defiance cracked under monitor's beep, confession spilling. Feared settling meant fading. Family converged. Alex cooking dad's chili, mom knitting scarves, their boy Theo, named for the B&B owner, drawing trucks with crayons. Recovery's rhythm taught patience. Jack emerging softer, volunteering at the center. Mechanics for at-risk kids, wrenches turning walls. Town's underbelly stirred meanwhile. New preacher, firebrand from the south. Sermons lacing, love the sinner, with veiled venom. Petitions circulated, close the center, protect youth. McAllister Jr., Brett, reformed but restless, rallied counter. Town halls packed, his testimony searing, I was the bully. Now I build. Votes teetered, but Mia's youth choir sang anthems. Jamal's murals testified, tipping scales. Victory pyre at the creek, flames devouring doubt. Personal high tide hit with Ryan's ultimatum, Chicago or bust, exhibit deadline looming. Alex's counter, join for a month, test waters. Road trip east, Theo bundled and back, became revelation, galleries awed, but nights in cramped airbums, Ryan's whispers, missed the dirt under nails. Compromise birthed, satellite branch in Chicago, Eldridge hub, dual lives woven, strains eased. Child's arrival amplified, little Sam, foster to adopt, wide-eyed with questions. Sleepless nights bonded, Ryan's lullabies sketching dreams. Alex's stories of gas stations turned triumphs. Parenting's chaos, diapers, tantrums, tested, but love's depth plumbed new. Ryan's patience in meltdowns, Alex's steadiness in fevers. External storm broke fierce. National news sniffed the center's success, spotlight drawing trolls, protests at gates, slurs scrawled on walls. Arson attempt foiled by new cams, Jackson stall. Culprit a zealot from the preacher's flock. Trial gripped town, testimonies a catharsis. Victims past and present, Brett's cross-exam wrenching. Conviction landed, but scars itched, trust frayed, patrols doubled. Healing's hook, interfaith alliance, preacher ousted, new minister, lesbian, partnered, preaching inclusion. Joint services blended hymns and hopes, bridges of song. Ryan's novel sequel delved deeper, twists of doubt, redemptions earned, topping charts, funding expansions. Alex's teaching tenure brought protégés, queer kids blooming, one a violin prodigy echoing Mia's fire. Anniversaries marked milestones. 10th at the gas station, now a mural site. Ryan's brush reviving that night. Jack toasting with root beer. 20th on the road, Theo, now teen, shotgun, Sam sketching beside. Jack's passing came gentle, heart quitting mid-laugh at a center barbecue. Grief tsunami, but legacy loomed, scholarship in his name, rigs donated for mobile outreach. Funeral at the creek, ashes to water, Tommy waiting. Ricky remarried, a quiet librarian, love's second bloom, and the family swelled, holidays chaotic with steps and grands. Alex and Ryan's vow renewal, silvered hair under oaks, still choosing. Sam, out as non-binary, center director by 30, cycle full. Eldridge evolved, Pride Parade annual, floats of memory. Bullies echoes silenced, replaced by cheers. In final pages, Alex alone by the creek, Ryan gone to cancer's quiet thief, sketches in hand, whispers to wind. Knew his last name, knew our hearts. Stars wheel, story eternal. No two-pat, true drama lingers in the unresolved, the what-ifs that propel.